And hopefully that is us live on the new streaming platform, which is EV Mux. As you can see up at the top, I get nice fancy things around it, and it's still free. It's awesome. So this morning we have had issue number 5 of the Combat Patrol magazine. I didn't think I'd be able to get this one because it is the limited edition Sergeant that is only available on this magazine. Can't get it from Games Workshop, so it's this magazine or somebody who's bought this magazine and selling it for more on eBay. Really don't want to do that, so I'm going to put mine together. So let's open first of all. Always the best way. The noisiest bit as well of the entire stream. This is the noisiest bit where I open the wrapping. But there we go. So, we get 6 more dice. Of course, I obviously need more dice because having the ridiculous amount that I already have isn't enough. Never enough. We only get a single model this time, and by the looks of it, we will need some kind of glue. We need glue for this issue. So if you've subscribed, hopefully they've already sent you glue. If not, you will need to go out and get something similar to Citadel plastic glue or Tamiya plastic glue. Extra thin, extra thick. And there are some... Revel is the other one I can think of. Revel glue. That's the other one. You are the firsty. You are the first. Good morning, mate. How's you? I hope you're doing well, or at least better than last time we spoke. The last time we spoke, it wasn't great, I believe. So I hope you're doing better. So let's move the noisy stuff out of the way. I nearly swore there before I'm allowed to. That's not good, is it? So it's a very simple sprue by the looks of it. We get a front torso, a back torso, a left and right leg, 2 arms. That's a hand that's going to glue onto there. So them two will go together eventually. And then I think this is going to be for the base. A backpack. And we get a choice of helmet. Helmet or bare head. I will be going for helmet. I don't like bare heads. But first thing we need to do is actually have a look through the Combat Patrol magazine. So this one, special model, which we've just seen there. You did say you was on hormone treatment and radiotherapy, which is what I was hoping was getting better. Last time you did say to us that you weren't too well. What have we got in this one, Hasty? Let's see. We have build an Infernus Marine Sergeant. Base coat Space Marines and Tyranids. Our base coating, then Space Marines and Tyranids guide, so it's going to give us more guides to painting. A little bit of reading, collect, and a play. Now I have got the models that so far have been collected from the magazine to hand, and I have 6 dice. I've just not got a dice tray. I should have got a dice tray first. But the first thing we come to is how to build this guy. Now, it already tells us glue is required. You do need glue, and you will need snips. Now, I have snips. I know I have snips. They are around here. There they are. Just got to hope I don't knock anything. Oh, dear. Why did I put a water pot on that? That's not a good idea. So fingers crossed, this is all going to go smoothly. And Steve's going to get a nice, peaceful little stream to listen to while he's not feeling well. So it starts by giving us 4 little triangles telling us to snip, clean the mold lines, glue them together, and then push the models together afterwards. I'm going to dry fit them first. So I'm kind of going to do that one, then that one. It's just gone. So we'll see if it works. If there's any delay or anything on sound compared to visual, let me know, because as I said, this is the first time I'm using EV Mux to stream. I have changed from StreamYard just to see what it's like, but I will try others if this one's not right. But first of all, we start with numbers 4 and 3, which are both the torsos. So 3 is the front torso and 4 is the back torso. Oh, snippy, snip, 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 snip. Now, I am limited on the amount of time that I can stream on here, so 2 hours is the maximum. So I need to get my backside in gear and actually get this done at a reasonable rate if I can. So rather than sitting there trying to scrape off these little nubbiny bits, I'm just going to sand them straight off. It's quicker and easier. Boom. We have a front torso. Seems that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I did try another one, Restream, I think it was called, and even in backstage, I was getting a delay between my phone, which is what I stream my face on, and my PC, which is what you can see down here. There is a slight delay. It's only about half a second. So hopefully, if I can bear that in mind, just slow my hands down a little bit, and it should balance out. So after you've finished sanding and removing sprue lines, you then want to put glue on the areas that it says. The areas that it says are highlighted here in yellow. So it's telling me to go pretty much all the way around the inside of the back half of him. Before I do that, I'm just going to make sure they do fit together. Nice and snugly, hopefully. Nice, yeah, that's a little bit of a burr there that I need to remove a bit more of. Get in there, come on. Boom, we're done. Should be ready for glue now. Follow the edges. And here, you don't need much early, so one of these little applicator nozzle things are really useful. I hope you're still going live because it's just shown me something that's about recording and I'm not sure what that is. So give them a good squeeze. And ka-ching, we have the body together. Next, it's telling us to pull off parts 5 and 6. My camera slipped. There we go. There we go. So 5 and 6, which are the 2 legs. 6 being the left leg. So we'll clip that out and do the cleanup on that one first. Double check for any mold lines that are blatantly obvious. Just give them a quick once over. Just make sure they're gone. And it's nice and flat, or smooth at least. You don't necessarily want it flat because if it's a curved edge, but you certainly want it smooth. Honestly, I do go to a little bit more effort on these Combat Patrol videos than I do on my standard models. And we get, is that the right one? Have I just clipped out? Yeah, I've just clipped out what it said was 6. But in fairness, to me, it looks like 5. So, yeah, that's actually 5. And what they've labelled as 5 on the piece of paper is actually 6. It's actually the other side. So If you get this and you're wondering why don't the legs go on like they say it should, it's because they printed it wrong. And that's why I'm dry fitting first, just to make sure it is the right leg that's going in each section. Because not all the instructions are correct all the time. Luckily, my familiarity with Games Workshop products and sprues is going to help me when that happens. So now, dry fit what it says should have been 6, but is in fact 5. And there we go, see? Ooh. Just drop that all over the place. Okay, Seth, good morning, or afternoon, evening. Thank you for coming to join us. We've already found the first defect within issue 5, which is the legs are numbered wrong. If you clip out 6, it's actually 5, and vice versa. So we've done a quick dry fit, mold line removal. I'm just going to get his leg into place, push that in there. This is the first issue we've had to use glue. Luckily, I got some a few weeks ago. Tying a little bit on the join point. And as it says there, this is a little yellow section. Put some glue there and put some glue there. I'll bring it closer to the camera in a moment. I'll just get this leg in first, which I did dry fit, so I know it does go on. Yeah. He's a bit legless. He might have had too much to drink. Maybe he's been with the Space Wolves for too long. I don't know. If you've subscribed to Premium, you will receive glue. They send you, I think it's glue and a mold line remover with the first. It might be the first or the second delivery. First delivery, you get the first 2 issues, I think, and then you get issues 3, 4, 5, and 6 all at once. In that one, you will get glue as well. I haven't subscribed. I'm buying these from my local news agents. I just happen to have glue. So while he dries a moment, I'll just bring this closer to the camera. 720p is not the greatest, but we can see there now. It tells you to put glue on that little section at the top of that leg and that little section there. And they will dry fit in first. Always dry fit if you can. So once they've gone in, as it shows you there, it stands quite nicely and proudly. No, bring it down, get it in camera. I'm still not used to this new streaming software. Sorry about that. So yeah, they will fit in nicely with his leg raised, which is going to be, as it shows us there, the raised leg is going to be standing on the Tyranid that's also on the sprue. But it wants us to do arms first. First of all, I'm going to see if the numbers are right. So, get it the right way around. Let's say this. Okay, that's 9, which is right. That's 7, which is right. And, so these ones are all right. 7, 8, and 9. 7 and 9 need gluing together. That's up to you, Kesa. I got that glue. It's Games Workshop glue. Sorry, I got this glue, which is Games Workshop's glue, but I got it from a game store. So I didn't actually get it from Games Workshop. You can get good glue cheaper online. As I said, you can get Revel or Tamiya. Revel will come with the little applicator nozzle like this one, and Tamiya comes with a brush. If I had to choose one personally for me, I'd say I prefer the Tamiya one, but it's been that many years since I've actually had one that I'm maybe completely off now because they might have changed how they do it. But last time I used the Tamiya one, the brush just made it so much simpler. I could just put just enough on in just the right amount of area. It was a lot easier. So I would buy online, probably through Amazon or eBay. What you're looking for is plastic glue. So Revel or Tamiya are the other brands. If you want to make sure and you don't want to go through the hassle of going, is that the right one? Is that the wrong one? You can just buy Games Workshop glue and have a little bit more assurance about it if you're not 100%. They do have a pay a free mini and demo game in Games Workshops if the store's big enough. What they do with the free, they say you get a free model. You usually have to buy something, whether it's paints or. There's never usually anything quite for free in this world. But I don't tend to go into my local Games Workshop store. I don't have one that's big enough to go and play games in, and I don't have a friendly local game store. I do have to travel for those. So everything regarding playing and demoing and stuff I have to do at home. So to answer that question, I'm not 100% sure, Casa. I don't know. It's the honest answer. I'm just going off past experience, which at my age, past experience starts in the 1900s and then carries on. So it's not ideal. Okay, so first things first, for the arm, we need to glue what looks to be some kind of melter bomb onto his wrist. Now, this is a small fiddly piece. And it's saying it actually wants the melter bomb at an angle as well. So it kind of wants it like that. So when the shoulder goes on, he's going to be holding it at an angle like this. Good morning, Ali. I hope I'm not disturbing you from work today, but thank you for coming to join me. And Kesa and Steve as well. You've come to join us all. We're all having a nice little party and chat today. This is fun. So that's arm number one, drying at the moment because it's his wrist. So while we're waiting for arm number one to finish, we'll clip off arm number two, which is all one piece. Careful not to actually snip off. See here, you could go a little bit too close and snip off the end of his gun. So it is possible. Sorry about this. I'm still getting used to this new streaming service. Good morning, Twisted. How are we? How are you? Yeah, for some reason it's not scrolling down. There we go. That's a bit better. It wasn't keeping up with the comments, and for some reason I had something blocking in the way on my phone, so I couldn't even read them on there, which is keeping up with the comments. So I'm trying. I am trying. So I'm also trying to do this looking at cameras rather than actually looking at the model, which is not a good idea. Because I'll probably end up doing the very thing that I've just said, be careful of, which is snip a little bit off that you're not supposed to. So again, either a knife or a file or just something to remove any annoying little lines that you have on there that you want to get rid of. In my case, I'm just using a very cheap nail emery board. But it works. And that's the great thing about this. If you can find something that works, then go with it. Oh, more work on your magnets today, Twisted. Now, I've got to say, the lighting that you've done on that with the pink and the blue, that is good. That's nice. I've got to say. Credit where credit's due. You've done a fantastic job with that. So this fella is holding his flamer nonchalantly at his side and waving a bomb around. Yeah, that's it. Well, there's all sorts of things that you could collect. Okay, so there's just for an example, and just to put it out there because I set it up last night, so I don't think anyone's aware of it now. As much as I enjoy doing Games Workshop products, and I've got enough of them now that my missus is thinking I've got a quite large plastic problem, I do also like just painting miniatures in general. So what I've done is I've just set up a Buy Me a Coffee fund, which hopefully some people will start to donate. As the description says, all the money that goes into it will be going towards buying 3D printed models from independent retailers. So depending how well it goes, depends whether or not I go with what is essentially kind of, how do I put this? If one-page rules models that could be used in Warhammer if your opponent is happy enough to let you. Same as the Warhammer models can be used in one-page rules. And it's a nice set of bearmen. I would like to start getting some of those. But there are also Dungeons and Dragons models that I quite happily paint as well. For those who have seen it in the past, the cats are coming back on Models and Musings. I've got another set of 6 to do. So that should be fun. 2 centimetre tall kitty cats. That's a difficult question to answer, Kesa. Because if you just try out on random models that you're not interested in, then you might not enjoy it. You might not. The good thing with these plastic models, you can buy another product, and it's called BioStrip. So if you were to paint your models and not be happy with it, you can you can dunk them in this BioStrip thing for about 15 minutes and then brush off all the paint, start again. So you can start with the army of choice that you want and then practice on different color schemes, different painting methods. It's like just for an example, with my Space Marines, I generally try to do the traditional painting method, which is base, layer, highlight. When it comes to my Tyranids, on the other hand, it's completely slapjacked. Out of those two, Guard and Sisters, Guard would probably be easier to paint because they have less gubbins and little bits all over them. The Sisters of Battle have loads of little icons and all sorts of silly little things all over them that they're just full of detail. And it can be overwhelming sometimes. Even for me, I've got Space Marines that are still sat there and I'm waiting to just get myself into. See, that's not a bad idea. Practice on the Space Marines, because the Space Marines you got with the combat patrol issues, they're relatively plain. I mean, some of them do have little... You can't see on this because I've not done it. I'll find a model with the paper things on. There we go. So this is the Terminator Sergeant you would have got with issue 1. They do have lots of little like flappy paper things and lots of extra little details, like the skull on his knee there, the skull on his belt, the skull on his thing. He's got a mouthpiece in there. You've got to be careful you don't bend the little plastic bits on the top. He's got skulls all over him. So just on that one arm there, there's 1, 2, 3 skulls on that side. Then you've got a super tiny skull and a wing on the inside of his gun there. So they can be overly done with the amount of detail. The Infernus Marines, however, really simple. Gun pack, one of those little fabric-y purity seal things. Then other than that, it's mostly flat panels. So you can practice your consistency for paints and colour schemes and which colours work with which. So if you're intending to play Guard or Sisters and you just happen to have a load of Space Marines sat to one side, awesome. That is a fantastic idea. Yeah, practice on those. I think I pretty much have most of what we'll be getting in the combat patrol somewhere nearby, I think. Well, Terminator Captain there. I've got the Librarian, Terminators Terminators under my desk, and I've got the Infernus Marines on here. I don't have a Chaplain on the bike, but that doesn't come in the Combat Patrol box. See, I don't think they would be more fiddly to paint than Sisters, Steve. Sisters, it's like every one of them's a captain. They all have to have every piece of detail and flamboyant bit of anything on them that they can get. Sorry, I just completely missed that step. Okay, so the shoulder pads, which I've just glued on, and as you've seen here, 10 and 11, they're really simple. A little blob of glue in the actual shield, and then it just pops on. So the last two pieces are the backpack, and then pick whichever one of the heads you wish to choose. Then that's the model done. We just need to sort out his base after that. So let's clip those off. Today's going to be a whole fun set of things to test as well, because I think he's just told me to paint this. And when it comes to base coating, I don't like doing it with a brush. I would much prefer to do it with an airbrush. So I might pull the airbrush out so I can do it at the desk rather than having to go outside and use it like a rattle can. So on this bit, it's telling us to actually glue the back of the Marine, which is a very large flat section here. So blob of glue on there. And when I push the backpack on and line it up, why can't it just have the little dimple like all the others? I don't know. But this one doesn't. So he needs lining up extra carefully. And I've just realised I've not removed the mould lines, so I'm going to have to wait until it dries to do that. More than that. Oh, no. And you're doing non-metallic metal gold on it, Twisted. Oh, you're a glutton for punishment. This streaming service at the moment, Ali, is... I don't know. I have noticed the delay between the two cameras. How much of that comes through online? See, hand, no hand, no hand, hand, no hand. See, very slight, very, very slight delay. So I'm not sure how well that's coming through on screen, which is quite frustrating. StreamYard, at least it was smooth, so I knew it was going through well. Okay, so the last thing we need is the head. In this case, as I said, you get a non-helmeted and a helmeted head. I don't like painty faces, so if you ever get a choice, is having a helmet. Now, they want me to look enough like that in a movie pose. Don't ask me why. So again, tiny, tiny, tiny drop of glue into his neck. So a little crevice there, and then that should, providing you don't slip like I've just done, fall in really nicely. And they're saying they want it imposed like so. What types of troops are you after? I might swap you for a couple of tanks. Because as I'm going through this, I'm going to end up with a spare Terminator set and God knows what else. That's pretty much what I'm thinking as well, Twisted. Now, is that 12 to 13,000 points worth of troops or 12 to 13,000 individual models, Steve? Because one's not as bad as the other. One, you should seek help. Right, final piece. It says I should have on this somewhere to put his foot. Somewhere specific to put his foot. Ah. Is that it? How's that going to fit? Right. Okay, so this is possibly more for Caser than anyone else, because Caser's subscribed to this. On the shoulder of this base piece of Tyrannid here, there is a small little indentation for his foot to go. So he's standing on the Tyrannid. It is not going to be an easy fit. Yeah, 13,000 points. That sounds a bit more like it. Like, whew. See, I'll be somewhere similar with my Space Marines if they didn't keep giving me point reductions. Leviathan being a big part of that, adding more Terminators and Stern Guard in. So, remove the mold lines and nubby bits off this while I still have chance and I've not glued it on like an idiot before I've done it, which I did a minute ago with the backpack. And I need a shelving unit, Steve. I do. Problem is I've got nowhere to bloody put it at the minute. My living room is jam-packed with all sorts of stuff, to be quite honest. Right, so that's supposed to be facing on the inside of the base. So it means it's coming up like that. Which means he's standing on that bit there. Oh dear. Sparkles is out on a driving lesson at the moment, Ali. She's currently learning how to drive, or attempting to learn how to drive. Okay, so pop a little bit of glue in that bit there where it says the foot's supposed to go, which is there. Position that, and then because it's saying it needs to be like that to go on the base, now we need to try and find that dry fit spot that we found a moment ago. I mean, she's not helping me. He's not being fun about it. There it is. There's the dry fit spot. Just hold it for a few more seconds. Hopefully that will hold when I let go, like so. Hey presto, we now have the new Infernus Sgt, just not on his base. But we can do that nice and easily, putting the glue along the flat edges and along the bottom of his foot. Take your base and place him on it so the majority of him is actually on the base. They've made the model too big, obviously, so little bits stick out over the edge, so you can't get them all rank and file nice and neat. But that's normal. We expect that at this point. So that is the building section, completely done. That was easy. That was nice and simple. So now it's going to teach us how to paint, which I still think is redundant for me to do on this channel, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Because I'm not a painting tutorial channel, I just kind of wing it. See, already it's telling me I've got to paint the entire, all bases in different colours. So what it told you to paint last time, blue, it's now telling you to go over a lot of the Tyrannid part with the Wraithbone that you would have got with issue 4. Yeah, issue 4. And then cover the base parts on this base here. So it's covering all the fleshy tones and the rib cage. Sorry, it's covering all the fleshy tone sections and the rib cage, but it's leaving all this blue. And all this blue. The entire model is blue at the minute. It is a bit of a shame that they do, and some models force you to use the actual bits that they want you to use. But let's be honest. If you was really determined, and this model particularly, and you didn't want this Tyrannid section, you could just layer up a couple of thin bits of cork so it's the right height, and then just glue him to the cork, and then he doesn't have the Tyrannid. He stood on a rock, a tactical rock that Games Workshop like to put their models on. I've noticed there's a bit of a gap there. He's not level. I didn't get him level. Let's give him a little bit of a push down just to make sure everything's actually making contact. Both feet have contact with the base. Good. Now here's the problem. I've set this up for my slap chop method, which is what I do with the majority of my Tyrannids. You will receive them in little drips and drops cases. So they give you the 3 paints, told you to paint the Tyrannids, all the Wraithbone, paint the Space Marine blue. Now it's telling you to paint certain parts of the Space Marine's base. You will have to do it in a couple of thin layers to get it as I say, first, second, and third coat. So they're giving it a nice overall coverage. But they'll only give you little bits and pieces at a time. So they won't give you all the marine paints, and they won't give you all the Tyrannid paints, so to speak. But they will give you a rough guide on how to do things. Good morning, Beaky. How are you, mate? So, looking at that one, as I said, it's telling you to paint the Tyrannid part in the Wraithbone. But when it takes you to the Tyrannid, you've already painted that Wraithbone if you followed the magazine as it's come through. Good morning, EB. Are you all right, mate? It's like really early morning for you. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So in this case, they're telling you to use the purple or the burgundy, which was not a scream of pink. Where have I put the burgundy? I did have the burgundy out. There it is. So the burgundy is telling you to paint over the chitin panels. So if I grab one of my other ones. So doing that tail section there is the demo section. So they're telling you to paint over it with the purple and then go back and clean up anything that you've done over the top and missed. And basically, because it's so small, it knows you're going to overpaint and you're going to catch bits that you didn't want to. So it's telling you there to paint it and then go back with the Wraithbone and repaint it. Oh, it's going a lot more in depth now. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, so now it's telling you to do all the armor and to be extra careful when you're going into the legs. And then paint any flesh tones. So where's Sergeant gone? Sergeant. So paint his skin also in the Wraithbone colour. Again, this is where this magazine falls down. For me anyway, because it's setting us up to paint a specific high fleet Leviathan and Ultramarines combat patrol. I, however, have a custom chapter and a custom high fleet because I started both before this magazine. So I won't be following their painting tutorials, but I will show it on here so you can see. So not only does it paint his head, it also goes through for the cape. Now the cape I can kind of show you as I've used. I didn't use Wraithbone, I used more of a light brown to do his cape. But yeah, you cover his cape. It's telling you to do both insides and out. In fact, I'll be better off grabbing one of my other models if he's available to show you that I've done more on. Please don't fall off. Please don't fall off this little tray. You tiny little creatures. So there we go. This is a Gravis Captain that I got from the 8th edition starter set. So going through the underside, catching any trim bits, and then whatever colour you wish to do on the outer edges. And being careful, particularly around these down these ends, which I will be doing gold, just so I can say it's got gold trim on it. Yeah, that's my intention, Kesa. The only thing that's going to stop me from doing that is if my local news agent doesn't get the issue. In which case, I'll get an apology video instead. So, yeah, as this is kindly pointing out, you do have to get right up into the undercrackers sometimes and paint some really awkward sections. It's a lot easier when they're not glued on the bases like these guys. So you can, if you've not glued it in, you can pop him out. Wherever my other fella's gone, because he should be ready to. Yeah, there we go. He can actually, the other one which I've done some converting on. Come out. I only put you in there so you didn't fall over. Don't make me snip you. Thank you. So there you go. Once you've actually, if he's off the base, it's much easier to actually get in under his cloak. If you, rather than having to fight around one of these. It would certainly be an option to put them up on eBay, Kesa. Anyone who doesn't want the actual magazine but wants what was stood on there, super glue, not a good idea. Sorry, anyone who doesn't want to buy the magazines but wants the Eldar or the Votan, then they're going to snap them off your hands. Votan, I don't know how popular they are at the moment, so I can't say for definite, but I do know that Eldar have a very, very big following. So you shouldn't have a problem selling the Eldar. Okay, so this is telling me how to paint a sergeant. But that's not how I paint a sergeant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy up to, basically I'm going to base coat him the same as I did with these. And I may go over some of the extra bits that he's telling me to do, such as detailing sections with Wraithbone that it has. And I might drag my speed paint purple so I can do my slap chop method that I use on this. So I'll still be painting it to a degree. But first of all, I need my airbrush, which I've just completely forgotten about. Go with me. Little airbrushing. Alright. I'm not going to argue with you over a washing roll. You can just go around it. As long as you're plugging down here, I'm okay. Now, I have also resolved, well, I haven't resolved it, the fantastic JV who has resolved the issue of my mic muting whenever I put the airbrush compressor on. So hopefully that's not going to be picked up on the microphone. Fingers crossed. I have put it a little bit further away from me than I normally would, but the lead is long enough. Shake, 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 shake. And where's my little spray box gone? Who's in the little spray box? There it is. I say little spray box, it's a shoebox. But the advantage of a shoebox is it's a nice enclosed little space and I don't end up accidentally spraying things behind my desk. So all that doesn't accidentally get hit with spray. That's the main thing of using this little box. Do it like that. So it's yep, we're getting a nice flow out of that. Pop the cap. Remember where I've just put the paint, which is probably right behind the box. Again, thank you, Ali, for sending me these. This has made my life a whole lot easier. So make sure you shake your paint, whether it's in a pot or it's an airbrush paint or any kind. Make sure you mix your pigments, otherwise they clog. A little bit into the well. I'm supposed to use gloves, but I can't remember where I've put it. So in this case, I'm just gonna and it's so much easier than a rattle can, so I don't have to go outside. I've just got to be a lot more careful when I'm breathing it in. So I actually have a question for EB this time. How's Space Marine 2 going? Okay, so that's him all nicely base coated black now. And I've got a ridiculous amount of black paint still sat in my brush. I put way too much in there. Is there anything that I can do black with? Anything that I can quickly just go, yeah, I can waste a bit of black on there. Yeah, I can redo the shadows essentially. And oh, why have I gone all? I went all weird on the screen. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna undershadow this again, just so I don't waste black paint. I don't like wasting paint. So it looks white from up there, but it'll look pretty much all black from underneath. Leave that in there to dry, and while I'm at it, I have an unpainted base. Good morning, Graham. Good morning. Just let me finish with the airbrush and then I'll chat through a little bit more about the buy me a coffee thing. In fact, I'll do that now. Essentially, the buy me a coffee thing, as I mentioned earlier, will be going to help people like Graham's Hobby Corner there, who does have a officially licensed product that is allowed to sell as a 3D print. And they're nice. They're really nice. So I want to help the communities as much as I can. So in case you're wondering, well, where's this buy me a coffee money going? Graham's one of them. I'll be buying his bears. You got more recording to do? I told you, don't overdo it when if you're actually having a bit of a good day. Did I get any paint in my brew? No, good. Yeah, don't overdo it now that you're feeling all right. Slowly but surely, mate. Slowly but surely. So I'm just going to clean my airbrush out in a very unconventional method of directly squirting water right into the damn thing and then spraying it into my water pot. So yeah, have fun doing that, Evie, but don't overdo it. We don't want you back in stage 1 again. Okay, so a better method would be to actually spray it into. I don't have any official airbrush cleaner, so I do have to do it this way. What's good about an airbrush? If you're proficient enough with them, which I am not at this moment, I'm still learning how to use an airbrush. I've only had it for a little bit, and I don't get the hobby as much as I would like. But if you're proficient with them, you can get some of the best blends, some of the smoothest coverage, and it just saves you a whole heap on rattle cans. Yeah, see, there you go. Buzzard. Buzzard knows a crack. Buzzard doesn't even collect these. He just listens to me waffle. And he's noticed that you get a better coverage and it's quicker. I mean, to have done that with a brush, I'd probably still be painting now. But now he's done. Head to toe, underneath, everywhere, not missed a bit. Same with the base. And you can do things, as I said, like on the top there, it's white. If you're looking down, it's white. But if you look from under there, it's all dark. So I have built-in shadows now. You can... Airbrushes vary on price. Mine is a cheap one. I have 2, so this one's the one that doesn't have a pipe attached to it. I just have 2 cheap ones. I got this one with the compressor for about, I think it was 70 or 80 pounds. And it came with the brush, the compressor, a needle, an air hose. Essentially everything you would need to do a basic startup with it. Then, because of Amazon... I'm not using you anymore, go away. Use up the air pressure in the tank. There we go. Then because of Amazon, I got a second brush, which came with a smaller needle, a larger needle, if you intend to stay with the hobby and it's something that you genuinely wish to do, and you're looking at it like, okay, I'm going to have hundreds of models to paint. I'm going to have a lot of scenery to paint. I'm going to have all sorts of stuff to do where I'm going to be spending a lot on spray cans, even if it's just for basing and for highlighting. If you're going to be spending more than £150 on spray cans over the period of doing it, then yes, get an airbrush just for basing and zenithal highlighting. If you're not sure, right, in that case, I would say yes. I held off for years because I wasn't sure. Now that I have one, I'm not quite sure how I managed to do it in the past. In all fairness, it's now become a staple. It is here to stay. I use it pretty much everything. I've got a set of 6 models up there that I should have pulled down to prime a minute ago. Absolute idiot. But hindsight is one thing, and I'm just an idiot anyway, so I forget things like the bottles that I need to prime and the kitty cats that I need to get ready. Oh, awesome. Oh, well, and awesome, well done. That quitting vaping. Anything nicotine related, getting off it is hard. I know I've been trying it for the last month and a bit. Okay, so as I said, these make us paint it as Ultramarines and Leviathan. So he's telling you to paint all the armoured pieces for any of the Tyranids purple, any face pieces or flesh pieces in the Wraithbone, and then it goes back over the not Lictors, Von Ryan's Leapers. So again, it's making sure you catch all the armour on the back there, all the armour on there, along the back of it. Well, you don't have, if you want to do it anyway, all the back along there, bit on the tail, the bit on the backside, as well as right at the bottom, it's giving us the winged prime. So it's making sure you get his horn, his back carapace, his tail, and down here, as well as on top of his legs, because they do have essentially down the top of the thighs there. They do, down the top of the thighs there, they do also have armor. So it's just giving you an idea of what to look out for when you want to be putting the paint on. I mean, it doesn't help that minor majority painted or not going to be in those colours. So if you follow their guide, you should be at this stage now, which will be everything's blue. All flesh tones are done in Wraithbone, and any of the Tyranid armour is done purple. It's not looking; they're not looking bad already. In fairness, they're quite nice. I don't have the voice for reading, so I'm going to skip the reading section for this one, and I only have an hour left. So let's see what he's telling us to do. Okay, that's what he's going to want us to have the Marine looking like by the end. So once they finish sending you all the paints and probably 90% of the models that you're going to be receiving as well, that's hopefully what it will look like by the end. So it tells us about Ultramarine Sergeants having red helmets and how to use your Infernus Sergeant. This Infernus Sergeant is designed to represent the leader of the unit of Infernus Marines. You can use him in your battles by removing the normal Sergeant, which is that chappy there, and switching him in with the one that you've got now. If you go in and ask Games Workshop to show you how to play, then they'll let you use the models on the table. It depends on what size of game you want to play. So if you wanted a 2,000 point army, then where are we looking? You'd be looking to take in approximately this many models, for instance, for Space Marines. Now that's what? 10, 20, 30, 40, around 60 models, because he's in there as well. That's including characters, 3-man units, 6-man units. If it's coming to being painted, some will, some won't. Some will be okay. Be like, no, bring them in. We can tell what they are. We know what the models are, so we don't have a problem knowing what you're doing and what you're doing with what. Others, however, will be expecting you to have at least the 3-color minimum, which they call battle ready, tabletop ready, which is what I get mine up to as a base start. All my model will go up to that. So that's why it's purple, yellow, eventually going to be green. So these 3 distinct colours. For my Tyranids, for my Space Marines, it's blue shoulder pads, black armour, and then whatever additional little colours go on them, whether it be red, gold, ivories, different coloured cloaks, just another colour apart from the red and the blue and the black with a little bit of silver trim, just so that there are more 3 colours on there. So I'm trying to cover the bases of the painted up to a minimum standard, but at the moment I'm not going whole hog like Graham did, and trying to gold leaf all the gold bits and enter a competition and stand a chance of winning. Yeah, see, this twist is said there as well. 3 colour minimum will usually get you. It's like, yeah, okay, they're painting it. We've got no problem. Done. Yes, I have, Ali. It should be. You're making me doubt it now. Where's my mouse gone? It should be. View my YouTube page. Oh, don't. And then click on links. Yeah, it's just below the Discord link. So the 4 links I have on the channel, it goes Instagram, the Amazon wish list, which again is more for me to keep track of. But if anyone wishes to send me airbrush cleaner because they're going, for God's sakes, we're sick of watching you use water, there's nothing I can do about it. Then it's the Discord link to join the Discord channel if you want there. And then just underneath that is buy me a coffee /lazy mini painting. And that's to go towards so I can start buying the models that Graham's going to start doing, as well as another guy on a similar Discord who's got a lot, and I mean a lot, loads of D&D animal miniatures. Lots of them. So obviously, considering Sparkles likes me painting animal miniatures for D&D, I will be trying to get them as well. But I'm also trying to get the stuff from Graham. So, right, they are going to run us through a battle. Oh no, they're doing this again. Flames of Purification. Right, you will have got one of these large sheets, which... There's 2 pieces of it. So that's, for argument's sake, that square and that square. A bloody massive. Absolutely whopping. Ooh, tournaments. I'm too slow of a player to do that. See, and there's the 4 laid out. They don't even fit on the camera. So I'm going to read through this and see how I'm going to do it on within the camera shot, essentially. Good luck with it though, Twisted, because that's something I've kind of wanted to do, but then thought, nah, I'm going to annoy far too many people if I try doing that. Or too many people are going to annoy me. So I'll stick with my friends for now. Right, how do we do this? Okay. So, our lone Infernus Sgt has located a key node of Tyrannid infestation. He has launched a lightning raid to purge these vital sources of biomass by any means necessary. He will have to work quickly, for even cut off from the main swarm, these infestation sites will defend themselves fiercely with biological weaponry. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Yes, Twisted Sofa in the US. So he's not local to us, Steve. So gathering your data sheets. For this game, you will need the profile for the Infernus Sgt. He uses the same data sheet as the Infernus Squad, which means he should be in here somewhere. That's Terminator, Librarian, Infernus Squad. There we go. Also make sure you have dice and a notepad and pen to keep track of fuel used. Oh, I'm using fuel. You don't use fuel in the game. Why are they making me use fuel? In Warhammer 40,000, when you play on the tabletop, you do not have fuel for your flamers. Why is it doing it in this one? No idea. So in this mission, your goal is to destroy all 4 infestation sites represented by the Battlefield Essentials cards, which are these, which you would have got. On the other side, they do actually have the stats. So if I can actually get my camera to please pick up black on white. There we go. Toughness 2, no save, and 2 wounds for the small infestation site. large infestation site, 5 toughness, 5 plus save, 2 wounds. Medium infestation site, and an armored infestation site. In this mission, your goal is to destroy all 4 of them, represented by these cards that I've just shown you. Before the Infernus Marine is overwhelmed, that's the old idea, you've got to do it before he's overwhelmed. Okay. You win when all 4 infestation sites are destroyed. Straightforward enough, I suppose. Pop the bug homes. So you get to move the Infernus Marine up 1 square or 2 squares as described in Introduction 3. So it did run a similar thing, and I tried to do it on the floor behind me, and it was just a mess. So you can either run 2 squares or move 1 square and shoot. Okay, you can make a shooting attack against the adjacent infestation site following the attack sequence laid out in B Basics. Before you make the attacks, you can improve the AP of your Pyreblaster as described below. Remove any infestation sites that are destroyed by the Pyreblaster's attacks. Then make attacks with your infestation sites the same way you did in the last game, which was roll a dice, and I think it was a 4 or 5 plus. I'd have to find the magazine and go back. And then the Infernus Marine's got to take a save. Alright, so single-use profiles. In this mission, your Infernus Marine Sergeant is equipped with 3 canisters of experimental armor-piercing fuel for your Pyreblaster. You can use each of these canisters once to represent this in battle. Before you make a shooting attack with the Pyreblaster, you may opt to change the AP to one of the values seen here. Make note when you have changed the AP, you cannot use the same AP value more than once, except the Pyreblaster's standard AP of 0, which it has all the time anyway. Consider carefully when you use your higher AP fuel. You might want to save that for the toughest of the Tyrannid infestation sites. So I can already see how this is going to go. If you've got half a brain, you're going to choose the highest AP. So AP 3 is going to go against the armored target so it doesn't get a save. And then you're going to use the APs respectively as they go down. So AP 2 will be to attack the large infestation site to remove any save that may get. The AP 2 will be on the medium. Sorry, the AP 1 will be on the medium. And then you don't need an AP for the small infestation site because it doesn't have any armor. It's supposed to be, Steve, but it doesn't work like that. As we both know, it does not work like that. So how I'm going to do this is I've got a map. And I have 2 squares to happily represent where they're going to be. So let's move paints out of the way and try and get this done in 50 minutes. Speed is not necessarily my good point. So the Infernus Marine Sergeant starts out at the bottom square, and approximately here would be this first site. So he starts here, and up 1 and across 1 would be the first, and that's the large site. So first thing we're going to do is going to move him up, which means we kind of turn that around. And he immediately comes up to next to the large infestation site. Okay, so for reference, I've moved him up to this square, so he's shooting across. I'm going to move up for the next one, then across, and then you get the idea so far. All right, so I do get to add AP to this, so he's got a 5 plus save. -1 will take it to a 6, -2. So I'm going to cross off the AP 2 for this one. Why do I never have a pencil when I need one? There we go. So I'm just going to put across through the AP 2 because that's what I'm going to use against the large target. We get D6 attacks, as it tells us on the other card that I've put to one side again because I'm an absolute buffoon. D6 attacks. In this case, it is a 5, which I'm rather lucky it got to. It is a little bit like Snakes and Ladders, isn't it? So 5 attacks, all hitting on strength 4. And this time with -2 AP. So this infestation site is not going to be able to make use of his armor. So strength 4 against toughness 5. I'm lower than my strength's lower than his toughness, so it's 5 pluses to actually wound. 1. What? Really? 1? I'll put that little silver ball on it, say he's been wounded. Now that he's gone, there are still 4 infestation sites on the field. And 5 plus, I have to make an armor save. 1. That's not bad. He's got 2 wounds, so he should have a chance of saving this. There is no AP on this one because it's the sites kind of releasing spores into him and him trying not to cough up a lung. Thanks. So it is working. Thank you very much, Ali. You don't have to donate, but thank you for confirming that it is working and it's there. Right, so we're looking at the Infernus Sgt again, and his save is a 3 plus, which he makes. Excellent. Now this time he's not going to move. He's going to have another pop up trying to take out a large infestation site, but he cannot use the -2 AP this time. And he's only getting 2 attacks. So 2 attacks hit automatically because he's using a flamethrower, which has the torrent rule. It means it auto hits. Does wound it once with a 5 plus, gets a 6. Very nice. But the infestation site does get his armor save this time, which is a 5 plus in armor save. So it needs this to not get burnt to the ground. And it saves it. It's not looking good for this Infernus Sergeant, is it? So, still 4 sites, Tyrannid's turn. So that's actually 2 wounds, a 5 and a 6. And so it'll be 2 saves for the Infernus Marine. He makes 1, but he does lose 1. So you're going to get a brick on your base. Because, to be quite honest, you've just lost a wound and now you're bricking it. You shall know no fear. Maybe you don't, but I'm aware and I've got a good imagination. Round 3 of him still trying to burn away this large infestation site. That's putting up a fight and a half. 5 hits. That's good. 5's to wound. Again, strength 4 against toughness 5. I'm lower than him. So instead of being an even thing, slightly more in his favour. None. Not a single one. 2 4s and a 1, 2, 3. I don't think this Infernus Marine's going to survive this, you know. He's only got to the first one. He's not even got to the armoured one yet, which is a tougher one. So, 4 infestation sites releasing spores. Only 1 wound. But let's face it, that's all he's going to take now. So he has a 3 plus save or he loses. No, he gets a 5 and manages to hold on to his wound. Come on, just take out this last infestation site so it can move up and use the other one. 4 hits. Come on, you can do this, mate. Come on. Pat on the head for good measure, just to help him. 5s again to wound. Yeah, you see, that's better. 2 6s. That one's actually hidden behind there. Nice big purple ball thing blocking it. So, it wounds it twice, but does its armor help shrug it off? It's 5 plus armor save, which is... No, it doesn't. Excellent. 2 3. So, he kills the first infestation site. After a very, very long ordeal of trying to just... I mean, he was like 80s hairspray levels of spraying in that thing then. I was getting a bit daft. So 3 infestations. So we've took out the large one. We still have the small, armored, and medium. So 3 of them. one of which does make a wound on him, making a 3+ save, which he makes. You're doing all right at the minute, mate. So his next move is he's going to move from the large infestation site here, and he's going to move up one to the medium infestation site. So turn it that way. Find me medium. Pop that there. And now he's moved up, still bricking it to the medium infestation site. So this time I'm going to use the... This has got a 6+ save, so I'm going to use AP -1. Don't want to go overkill. Make a mark off just so I know which one I've used. Again, D6 attacks. 6. Why could you have done that a minute ago? 6 attacks. Now this one's only a toughness 3. So strength 4 against toughness 3. If they're even, it's a 4+. If I'm stronger, it's a 3, and if I'm weaker, it's a 5. So I'm stronger in this case. 6 hits, 3 pluses to wound, all with a -1 AP. One, 2, 3 didn't, but 3 did. And because I used that -1 AP, it doesn't get his 6+ save. It takes out that infestation site very quickly. 2 left. 5+ to wound him. Nope, 2 4s. Okay. So where is he positioned now? So he's now positioned here. So what I really want to do is jump across one, and then I can go straight for the armoured site. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump across one square and go take on the armoured infestation site. On this turn, I will be activating the highest AP, which is the AP 3. So I'll be using the third and final AP thing. Roll for his number of flamer attacks. 2. Okay, now this is toughness 6, so again, I need 5s to wound. Yes, Sally, I receive it in pounds. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but I receive it in Great British pounds. Yes, 5 pluses to wound it. If I'm lucky enough and get 2 5+ on this, I take it out in one shot. If not, it gets a wound, and next time I'm going to struggle. So 2 infestation sites to see if they can finish off the marine before he takes out the armoured one. Nobody wounds. So the sergeant gets to continue just piping on this red hot flame and hoping it burns it all to bits with another 2 attacks. What is it? Do you not like this armoured infestation site? 5 pluses to wound. 1 wound. Now, because I've not used one of the AP things, well, I've got none left, it gets its full 4+ save. No, as I say, always, if you have a question, feel free to ask. In this case, it makes it safe. You're just dragging this out. I've got to try and get this done in 2 hours, and this sergeant is really dragging this out. I don't know why. Pull your bolt pistol out and shoot it or something. 4 hits this time. I'll slide that. There you go. Just so you can see how I'm not fudging dice rolls. Some people may accuse me of that, usually because they do. 5 pluses to wound. Ooh, 2. 2 5 pluses, but I've still got no AP, so it gets his 4+ saves. It only needs to fail 1 though. And it does. It fails 3. God. Sergeant's holding out. Sergeant's holding out, and it's only the small infestation site left, which does get a chance to try and bump him off first. 5+ to wound. Nope. Does not work this time. So, we are level with that site, but we've just killed that one. So, I'm going to do a double move. I'm going to run over to there. There we go. He's run over to this one, and it's completely open there below him. So, he doesn't get to shoot. Small infestation gets another chance to take him out before he gets there. 6 to wound will wound him, but there is no AP. So 3+ save, or he fails. He fails his mission. Whew, close. His backside has just been, there's definitely a brown mark inside of his armor now. So having just about survived that, he's going to move down a square from this one. I'm going to move down a square and be directly above the, move down a square and be directly above the small infestation site. And he's got a unloaded flamethrower again. He's got no more AP canisters left, but he doesn't need them for this one. 2 hits. And it's strength 4, toughness 2. Now, not only am I higher than his toughness, I'm actually double his toughness. So that changes the dice roll again. Now I need 2 pluses to wound. So that's how it goes. It goes equal is 4+. If you're stronger than their toughness, 3 pluses. If you're double or higher than their toughness, you wound on a 2+. So as long as I don't roll 2 1s, I should take this site out in one shot. I'll roll 1 1. I didn't roll 2 1s. Just 1. Come on, Ickle infestation site. Let's see if you can pop off the fight this bloody marine that's been going down and taking out your friends. No. He gets a 2 to wound, which will not wound a space marine. Final shot, hopefully. 5 hits. Let's put you there. And 2 pluses to wound. I should get a 2, at least 1 2 out of all these. If I roll 5 1s, I'm just giving up on this. There's 1 1 at least. I knew that was coming. But 4 wounds. And as this has no armor save, none at all, and he's already taken a wound, the final infestation site purged. That took a lot longer than it should have. Okay, so that's the turn breakdown it's just give us. I've gone through it. It's giving you examples for turn 1 and turn 2 and when to use and how it will affect saves as you run through it. So there against the large infestation site, it tells you if you use the -2 and it rolls 4, it means you roll a 2. If you roll a 6, it actually equates to a 4. And as we know with the large infestation site, it needed that level. So you can, if used correctly and you get good enough rolls, take out each site without having to, without allowing it to have a save, making it a nice quick game rather than what I've just done. It gives you the same example there against the armored. Is it? No, sorry, the medium. So I'll use -1 this time rather than -1 this time rather than -2, and it tells you what the save results will come out as should you apply that AP. I just happen to do it a lot more. Okay, so how do we claim victory? Only in flames can the alien find the Emperor's justice. So in this case, the Space Marine got victory. The Infernus Marine watches coldly as the last infestation site is reduced to a charred ruin. Without a word, he refuels his Pyreblaster and prepares for a long, brutal journey back to the Ultramarines' front lines. He carries with him decades of experience, and for the first time this campaign, a glimmer of hope for victory. If that's my glimmer of hope for victory for these guys against the Tyranids, I'm not looking forward to when I play it. If the Tyranids would have won, however, then they would have turned the Sergeant into biomass ready to feed their great war engine. So by now, you're saying you should be pretty comfortable with dice and modifiers. Now, sometimes you'll get it'll ask you to roll a D3. Games Workshop standards is to make 1 and 2 equal 1, 3 and 4 equal 2, and 5 and 6 equal 3. So which card is it that's going to make me roll a D3? Just one of you. I know one of you will, so at some point. There we go. So the Librarians focus. Please take my word for this. The damage for the Librarian's force weapon and for his smite is a D3. Once you actually get the card in front of you, you will be able to confirm that. But at this minute, because my camera's not focusing, you have to take my word for it. So on a D3 using the Games Workshop method, so this method here, what is that? That's a 4. So he'd get 2 damage from either his smite or his force weapon. There is also another thing that is really annoying, especially if you're rolling on a table, which is why I generally prefer a dice tray. And you'll get one of these little things here, which is called a cocked dice. A cocked dice is almost always re-rolled in most cases, unless specified beforehand as a house rule. Either way. So even if you could see it would have landed like this one here, you can see it's going to land. If that model were there, it would have landed on a 5. Tough. You have to re-roll that dice and deal with whatever the second result is. You cannot count a cocked dice. It didn't continue its roll. Ooh, final page. So again, modifying dice rolls. In this case, for a -2 AP against Mr. Terminator Captain, who will always who has a 2+ armor save. So AP is very useful against him. -2 AP for a relic weapon is simple. You just take 2 off whatever the dice roll is. So if you roll, so he goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way down there. So 6 is a 4, 5 is a 3, 4 is a 2, 3 is a 1, and if you roll a 2, it's nothing. You've taken 2 off it, it becomes nothing. It's quite easy to use. Oh, what's this? Modifying characteristics. So on one of the data sheets, which is the Barbed Gauntlet one, which we haven't got yet, but I believe we will be getting soon, it has a special rule. In this case, it's Disruption Bombardment. In your shooting phase, after the Barbed Gauntlets have shot, select one enemy infantry unit, so it'll only work on infantries, that has been hit by one or more of these attacks from the Barbed Gauntlets. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, that enemy is classified as disrupted. While it's disrupted, you take 2 inches off the movement, 2 inches from any advance rolls that you would make, which are the run roll, and 2 inches off any charge rolls. That's a total of 6 inches that it can maximally reduce from you, which is a lot when your movement characteristic is only 5. So taking 2 off it puts you at a movement of 3. If you was hoping to charge those Barbed Gauntlets and get in close combat and close enough so you can roll 2d6, hopefully get a high enough score to get within an inch of it, then taking 2 off your move and 2 off your charge is quite a big chunk out of your movement. For an example, there he is, little chief chappy fella. Now, if I have so what's the biggest distance I can put in on camera so I can actually do this? So put him right over there and this guy right over here. Now he's not going to make that is over a 12-inch charge. He cannot charge into that. He is not going to make it over. He's just been shot by Barb Gaunt, so he's now got to remove 2 inches from everything he does. So he can now only move 3 inches forward instead of his 5, which would have got him off the edge. So there's already a big chunk. Now, he's still out of charge range because of that. If I could have moved him an extra 2 inches forward, he still would have been out of charge range, but he would have, with a 12, managed to get within an inch. Just about. So just taking that 2 off his movement has already made it impossible for him to charge. Taking it off his advance as well, he's not a chance to get close enough. So just doing that one shooting action to slow him down has allowed what would be the winged prime now to get the jump on him and get charging and fight first. So with a movement of 10 now, because the Terminator captain couldn't move far enough, he's going to be able to move 10 inches up there. Now making a charge distance of what? To get him within an inch, he only needs 4. And getting 4 on 2 dice. There you go, 7. Now he's got the charge on the Terminator captain, so he's got the advantage to attack first. Going off my last demos, we know how it turns out. Terminator captain usually slices him up. But the chance to go first is a good thing. So be able to use that tactically is nice. So that is the final page talking us through abilities and modifiers. Speaking of Barb Gaunts, we're getting them in the next issue. And then for issues 7 and 8, we're getting... I'm going to guess it's going to be 5 Termagants and a Ripper Swan base with each. Just bear with me one moment. I've just heard my door. Yes, it was the door. Sparkles is back from her driving lesson. So, yay. Have a great day, Twisted. You have a good one. You go grab your breakfast. Make your wife's lunch. I'm sure she's going to be more than happy with that. And have a good day. Drive safe, mate. Because I'm pretty much going to bring this down to a halt now anyway. So, issue 6 will be getting 5 Barb Gaunts. Which, again, I've got in the box under there. And then 7 and 8 will be getting 1. Between the 2 issues, we'll get 1 full unit of Termagants. Just 1. And 2 Ripper Swan. Is it 2? It should be 2 Ripper Swan bases. No. 1 Ripper Swan base. So 10 Termagants and 1 Ripper Swan base. Spread over 2 issues. So over the 3 issues, we'll be getting a total of 16 new Tyranid models. I hope they start pumping the Space Marine ones out soon so they can start catching up, because the Space Marines are definitely going to be outnumbered at this rate. But again, thank you everybody for watching and for coming to see me. You're the reason I do this, so thank you very much. And Kesa, thank you for, I believe, first time coming to see us. Please hit the like if I was good enough to earn it. Subscribe if it was even better to earn it. And I look forward to seeing you come back again. Graham, Steve, Ali, Twisted, as per usual, drive safe, look after yourselves. And yeah, I've now got to figure out how to end a broadcast on this one, which I don't know how to do, so bear with me. And hopefully that means, is it that button up there? Because I've set it up on the PC, so... And Buzzard. Oh, you're the silent assassin, mate. I always forget you're in. Buzzard, you have a good day with your car as well, man. And everybody else. I'll see you on Models and Musings on Monday, if you're there. If not, possibly next week when the next issue's out.